That first Iron Maiden album certainly left its mark.
Well, the thing is, is that when they asked me to join the band, it was basically they were a three-piece because they didn't have a band. I think what happened was that when they signed with EMI, it was such a fantastic deal in them days in 1979 that there were certain musicians in the pub band or the club band that they were playing with that just weren't doing it, that just weren't up to scratch. So basically, I think when they signed the deal, they sat down with Rod and just said, look, there's Dave, there's Steve, and there's Deano. They didn't have a drummer. They needed to beef the lineup up to make that first album. So I was brought in.
This is the first time I've sat down to do what is really one of your guitar solos. First off, I never realised how difficult that riff is to play. It's the picking on the right hand. Yeah, it is one of the more difficult Maiden riffs to play, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on your picking hand. Yeah, it can be. It is quite demanding. But then again, in them days, like we were a lot younger, so you like since then, I broke my wrist, so my picking hand is a little bit slower than normal because I broke the whole right across my wrist. But in them days, it used to be, I think, a lot of the songs we played too fast. The Transylvania, I just took it in my stride. But the solos, I can't remember how we come about it because I would always say to Dave, what solo are you going to take? And I would always work around him because he was the original member before me, and it was his bat and ball. So, I used to follow him,
There's a part of your solo, and you actually do it in Women in Uniform as well. You're playing the same lick. Was that predisposed? The harmony part of Women in Uniform?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. I think when you've got so much work and you're in a rush to do things, you tend to find that certain licks, certain solos, certain riffs, they come to you and you think, oh, that sounds good, but you're in such a panic to get it done, you forget that you actually did it on a previous song. On Transylvania, the bendy notes, see, Dave used to play that, and so it was probably in my head.
Are those bends double tracked?
It could be, mate. It could be. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be able to remember if it's tracked or not. But a lot of the stuff, little harmonies that pop up here and there on certain songs, like in the middle of Iron Maiden. Little harmonies pop up all over the place. So it may have been tracked, or it may have been. I don't know.
Towards the end, there's 4 guitars there.
Yeah, because a lot of the times when I was in the studio with the engineer, Will Malone wouldn't be there. It would just be me and the engineer. And because I was left to my own time, my own verses, I was able to put little bits on just in my own time. I'd sit in the control room with the engineer rather than in the studio behind the glass window, and I would sit there with him and just try different things out. As I say, there's lots of them harmony bits and guitar bits that I don't remember how we did it, but they'll pop up on the album somewhere, yeah.